This is a short video to address the problem of how to define a circuit in ways that relate to Lacan's idea of the return of the real, as well as Freud's idea of neural circuits in his Project for a Scientific Psychology essay of 1895. For Freud, the smallest unit of the brain's biological functioning is the neuron, or neuron. The neuron presumes a circuit that, in modern IT terms, processes disturbances with the aim of returning the circuit to a low level of energy after being spiked by a stimulus. For Lacan, circuits play diverse roles, from the idea that the real returns to a trauma in an après-coup retroaction, to the idea that a letter always arrives at its destination. Even his theory of discourse is a circuit, where a ring defined by S1, S2, the auge petit a, and the cleft subject rotate over a field of agent, other, production, and truth. So the question of what actually is a circuit, in psychoanalytical terms, is significant, if not crucial. Lacan's incorporation of topology is key here. We can see that the Möbius band twists a fixed length of a 3D strip into a 2D single surface whose twist appears in 3D but not 2D. We say that the Möbius strip is immersed into 3D and that this immersion is a kind of painful experience, a surface of pain, as Lacan called architecture in Seminar 7. Part of the pain involves being unable to decide if the physical strip, clearly a circuit, should be defined in a pictorial way as analogous to a 360-degree circle, or, as any physical travel over the strip will demonstrate, a set of two half-journeys of 180 degrees each. Or should the Euclidean analogy be replaced by saying that the single circuit of an untwisted strip is really doubled to make 360 degrees into 720 degrees? Is this just a matter of finding one convention and sticking with it? The physics of the Möbius band involves our pictorial representation. If we join the physical strip of paper in 3D Euclidean space, we acknowledge its two sides, only one of which we can show with a flat representation. This has the option of traveling around on either side, an inside or an outside. With the twist of the Möbius band, the inside and outside are neutralized, and there is only one surface. If we stick with the Euclidean picture of a circle, a 360-degree figure, we have the option of halving or doubling the 360 degrees to explain the twist. Our choice is just about our desire to create a report of the trip, a kind of travelogue. It doesn't really affect what Will Greenshields has called the real of the Möbius band. Greenshields emphasizes that the twist takes place as a somewhere only in its Euclidean construction, that the results of this construction are a Lacanian real that erases the locale of the twist. The twist becomes the real precisely because we can no longer locate the twist that we originally made. The twist is lost, or better, concealed. As Lacan says in his essays on Edgar Allan Poe's story, The Purloined Letter, the twist is purloined, running alongside, concealed within a kind of topological poche space, just like the letter in the story, that is invisible precisely because it is left out in the open. The letter's locale has been erased, not the letter itself. The purloined letter is thus a matter of a circuit that moves from visibility to invisibility and back again. The circuit is defined as a kind of lost and found department of the psychoanalytic department store. Lacan configures the twist in many different references to projective geometry and topology. In the classic interior 8, a kind of emblem for his idea of extimacy, intimate externality, or alternately objectified internality, the circuit folds in on itself. We should take this seriously as a kind of origami, an inclusion of the medium of figuration along with the figure, meaning that the drawing of any figure is, topologically, a reference to the surface of the drawing. This means that any and every drawing is, in this sense, a case of projective geometry's two main features, self-intersection and non-orientation. Another interesting extension of this omnibus idea of the supercircuit involves the forced choice that Bruce Fink cites as the basis of obsessive compulsion. The après-coup retroactive return to a trauma is portrayed as the forced choice presented by a robber who demands your money or your life. An analysis of this using a truth table shows that the two options are really not any options at all, since any choice engages its opposite. You lose your life, you lose your money. You lose your money, you can't enjoy your life. The void that is the intersection of the true and false is the twist of the Möbius band. And, as Lacan says in Seminar 7, it's the surface of no escape in the story about Apollo and Daphne. Architecture's surface of pain has to do with every drawing being simultaneously a figure and a ground, an origami fold of medium over message. There's another way of showing how the forced choice condition relates to the Möbius band. The two options, a Euclidean circle idea and a double circle idea, are like the true and false of the robber's demand. Neither is true because each engages the other option, but rather than say that there is simply a void between the two, the square wave plays this out as a dynamic alternation. The square wave shows how easy it is to incorporate ideas of the real into physical form. The Thalmatrope is a simple play toy, a gadget, a trick. Thalmatropes have been found in prehistoric caves. A disc with images on either side is held by a string and spun so that the images combine. Yet the combination is not a merger. It repeats a complicated inside-out relationship without flattening the two ideas. A binary opposition is converted into a cinematic effect. Lacan referred to the toy-like aspect of this in his idea of the latus, a gadget marking a local condition within the more global alethosphere, an ultimate geographical expression of the truth table depiction of the forced choice. As a gimmick, the twist of the real or real of the twist is transferable to other kinds of popular culture. In Alfred Hitchcock's mysterious film Vertigo, the two sides of the Thalmatrope become the actress who plays the wife who is to be murdered. The actress Judy is on one side, the role she plays, Madeline, is on the other. As the detective Scotty finds out, there is no way to put the bird in the cage without having the cage, the figure on the ground, any more than there is a way to draw a line without referring to the paper. Judy and Madeline presuppose each other, just as the bird's freedom presupposes its own countermeasure, entrapment. The German philosopher Ernst Cassirer described this as the condition by which the very desire to escape creates the trap from which there is no escape. The inverse condition brings non-orientation into a circuit, which is ultimately self-intersection. We could call this topology a neural network, just a cinema effect. Not only are there many ways to talk about circles and networks structurally, there are many different forms of circling that multiply the range of this alethosphere almost to infinity. A social relationship involves an enclosure with conditions of admission and expulsion. Falling in love uses a metaphor of specific gravity to say when we're in and out of love, flying or falling. From traps to defenses, encirclement is never a simple matter of defining a space by drawing a line. Every circuit is complicated by self-reference and non-orientation. Every circuit is some version of the Möbius band problem. This is why, in nearly every domain of human activity and culture, we run into the same issues about completion. Every case involves fundamental problems of set theory, contradiction, and inconsistency. Every case is haunted by the shadow play of Lacanian extimacy and the Freudian death drive. Even in mathematics, the matter of drawing a line to enclose a space is complicated, as we see in the difficulty of defining what is called the Jordan curve. Drawing a line is not so simple when each move of the pencil involves a reference to the paper, and just telling a joke or story involves the challenge of how the ending is to answer to the beginning. In a series of video podcasts, I'll try to take up groups of these problems to see how psychoanalysis and topography can be brought to bear to find some Rosetta Stone for this myriad of data.